Abend. Okay, Saturday evening. Let's see if I'm not alone here at that time of the day, at that time of the weekend. But I thought that after the last stream I did with the Bob Dylan 10 LP box set, I'm not alone. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Black Paint. After the, there are quite some. Hey, Manfred, Anthony, Poppa, Jurek, Philip, Martin, Sasha, Juan Luis. Ken, nice to see I'm not alone on a Saturday evening. But what I wanted to say is after the last stream with the Bob Dylan box set, the 10 LP bootleg series box set, we had such an amazing crowd, in my opinion. So sharing and we developed a sharing of knowledge that I really liked. And so today I said, come on, I have quite some new records. I have quite some new originals I've got. Let's do this again, try this out, if that works out this well again. So yeah, let's start, right? As we really have to cover some records here, if you like. And yeah, let's start with the box set. The thumbnail I used for this live stream was thought as the thumbnail for the video. But hey, come on, this is work, and so I decided just to use it. And you probably have all seen now this record or this box set. I'd like to start with the 25th anniversary of Green Day's Nimrod, which arrived with a dent. But hey, come on. So we go through the content. I talk a bit. Oh, that was great. That was good. Good start. Wait a second, please. God damn. That's live. Here we go again. So are we fine now? What a start. Hoppala. Okay, again, the Nimrod 25th anniversary box set. We go through the content and I talk a bit about my impression of the box set, the music. We have it on 3 LPs. No, excuse me, 4 LPs. Beautiful label they created. And we get quite some extra stuff. Of course, we get our hype sticker. 25th anniversary deluxe numbered limited edition Green Day Nimrod. 5 LP box includes original Nimrod album over 2 LPs, an LP of 14 unreleased demos, 20 track 1990-70 unreleased live concert on 2 LPs, plus book, cloth patch, poster, slip mat, commemorative backstage pass. Okay, so this is a backstage pass, see? All access. Not so sure that I will use it. This is the patch. So you can put it here or on a jacket. Here is the beautiful slip mat. And of course, I don't use it, but I use those. I use those as dust covers for the turntable. So I put it on. When I put up a record, I put it off. And so it's a dust-free area. Booklet. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's go through the booklet as good as possible. Nice, huh? Nice. Well made. Could be a little bit more information and bigger essay, so that we get this, but Okay, poster. That's always the part where I'm afraid of. So here we have our poster. No, I don't put it into my sleeping room. I keep it with the box set. They come in, I don't comment this anymore. They come in this paper inner sleeves. And now let's go through the gatefold jackets. This is the gatefold for the album. Here's something still inside. Oh, another record. It's the live concert. Missed that one. And we have this jacket. Those are the demos. And here we go with this release, with the Live at the Electric Factory. Yeah, the record itself, of course, 25th anniversary of their 5th album, I think. Very diverse album. We have quite some unhappy guys here, in my opinion. They really didn't like getting or becoming those rock stars. Hey, Stunty. Hey, Liam. They didn't like that, and I think they digested through this album. We have a lot of elements here. We have this hardcore ska rock, surf rock, ska elements. We have folk elements. But overall, I've listened to the first album, and it put me in such a good mood. This album, that was amazing. You know, this it delivers this high school feeling. Very, very fast record, very nice listening, sounded amazing, really, really dynamic and fast. You know, it kicks it kicks in immediately, and that was what I really, really liked. I can't compare it. I don't have an original 90s vinyl or very late 90s vinyl, but I don't have this original, but I'm totally happy with this box set when it comes to the album. Sound-wise, beautiful, great stuff. I didn't get into the extras so far, so I can't comment on the extras. The box, for example, is very, very beautiful. I mean, I always like when they do this matte finish, this laminated shiny finish. This part is really, really well made. So if you are into this album, that's a good one. Hello, Heike. Nice to see you. Okay, thanks, Louis. Yeah, so any comments on the Nimrod from Green Day? If not, we go to the next new album, and I didn't think about it. It was in a time where I was very, very occupied, and then I think it was Winston O. Boogie who mentioned it in the Discord of the OBC. I said, Michael, you need to get this, and so I ordered it. I got it. I listened to it, and yeah, John Cale, Mercy. And we have this gatefold jacket. We have, careful now, one accident is enough for one stream, right? We have inner sleeves, printed inner sleeves with the lyrics. I don't comment on that anymore. More inner sleeves for the second album. Show you the vinyl. Quite flimsy vinyl, but In a way, who cares? Vinyl was a bit noisy. The first disc was a bit noisy. Cleaned it. It was still noisy, but bearable. So not that I say no. I return this record. Yeah, the record itself. John Cale. Yeah, I think after a decade, a new album, and yeah, he did a lot of collaborations. Tony Allen, Laurie Halo, Actress, and others I now have forgotten. I think Panda Bear was amongst them. So a lot of those more or less avant-garde-ish electronic musicians. But it is still yet an John Cale album, a very calm, flowing, beautiful album, which is, in my opinion, carried by his voice. That's for me the most important part, because this is what carries this album, and this is what makes it still a John Cale album, because the influences of the other musician is quite strong, but his voice, his feeling, that's really amazing, and that's why I totally like this album. You have to be, of course, like with the most albums, you have to be in a certain mood. You have to be in the mood for it, because it flows very calm. So, and yeah, I don't know who of you got this John Cale too. I mean, John Cale is quite a figure, important figure, and if he puts out a new album, I think that's quite something that in a way is almost a must-have, isn't it? What do you think? Problem was the vinyl. Otherwise, the sound of it, nice, good, average, nothing spectacular. Yeah. I know. You're right, Black Paint. There is a limited edition with an additional 7-inch. Yeah, I didn't order that one. I just ordered mine over at Amazon. Maybe I order this one too, if it's still available. Do you know if that's still available? AJ Nashville Lords just didn't get into them. Kind of plastic punk to me. Okay, I think you're still with the Green Day. Okay, no, when it comes to the Green Day, it's fun music. Come on, it doesn't have to be always an album of the century. I think, of course, it won't go. I won't go this far and say I will now listen to it every day. Yeah, and the lyrics are quite important. Again, it's one of those albums, where he also goes into the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, and stuff like that. Yeah, he's for sure an important artist, and also an artist. I can't remember a time because there hasn't been a time for me without John Cale. Yeah, of course I can't. Yeah, John Cale has always been there, and he always has put out every now and then a great album, and albums, in my opinion, that aged very well. I don't remember a John Cale album where I would say, "Oh, come on, I can't hear that anymore." Okay, next one is again from a band that are there forever. The discography is 100 plus. And of course, we are talking about Tangerine Dream. Raum. Raum is German and means room. Comes in a gatefold jacket. And yeah, when I heard the new Tangerine Dream album, I said, okay, why not? Here we have the inner sleeves. Yeah, we get their 100 plus album. I think their second after the death of Fröse, of Edgar Fröse. And we get a Tangerine Dream album. There is no doubt. Is this an, how would Stunty say? Stunty, you would probably say, is this relevant? Difficult to say. You listen to it, you get your Tangerine Dream atmosphere, this yeah, universal electronic synthesizer music. It catches you. I was disappointed with the overall sound quality. I expected a bit more. That was on the disappointing part. And yeah, it's a Tangerine Dream album. Nice, but it's not one of their standout albums, I'd say now. Time will tell, you know, with Tangerine Dream, it's never that easy. Yeah, I love Tangerine Dream too. I would be quite eager to hear your opinion, 333. It's not spectacular in my opinion, but that might change. I really will give it more and more listens. This won't be the only listen I gave it for this video. I only did one listening, and that's my impression and that's my opinion. As I said, I was a bit disappointed about the sound quality. I would have loved more dynamic and more space, because space is when it comes to this kind of music very important to get you into this. This Tangerine Dream is cultivated boredom. That's a bit harsh, but I can understand that you say this. Now to a killer album, in my opinion. A killer album, if you are into drone music. So in a way, musically, this is my personal highlight of the stream. And we're talking about Kali Malone. Does Spring Hide Its Joy? This is a 3-record album. I show you one album so that you can see the label. Nothing too spectacular, but the music is spectacular. And the main collaborators on this album are the amazing Lucy Railton and Stephen O'Malley. A lot of you will know. A lot of you will know him from Sun O. But this is a very interesting, catchy drone album. Amazing, an amazing collaboration. Talked a bit about it with Stunty today because I was so impressed. And he said, I hope I quote you right, Messi, Stunty. And yeah, he said, it's strange that it's just labeled as a Kali Malone album, because the influence of Lucy Railton and Stephen O'Malley is really, really huge here. So if you are interested in this kind of music, this is a must-have. If you're into it, like for example 333, who says I need to get this, yeah, you should. But it's also an interesting record, in my opinion, to get into it. Maybe stream it a bit, listen to it. This is quite interesting. Another of the Stunty and Michael stream, I agree, this one is really good. I hope, and I think you talk about the Lucy Railton, huh? There are for sure, tons of great Tangerine Dream albums. I really like their early Or stuff. Wow, really, really good. I think there is no doubt. Zeit, exactly. Zeit is a brilliant album, brilliant, and they really developed. I think they changed to Virgin. Wasn't Virgin their label later on? I think so. Not 100% sure, but they created tons of amazing album. Later on, they lost a bit their krautrock attitude, but in a good way. They evolved, and they evolved in a good way. So those albums cover the new records in this video. I got other new records that I will do a video. I will do about a video about the Oscar Peterson Acoustic Sound Series Night Train, and I will do a video about the new Tone Poet. I don't know if I do one video or two videos. I haven't decided yet, because it's always this pressure with the playlist that they are complete. I will try and figure something out. But now let's get into the OGs I got. And in my opinion, killer stuff. Let's start with this one. This is an original, very, very early pressing of Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. I was really shocked, but really surprised how expensive a good copy of this record is. They are in the 300 euro area right now, so quite expensive. Of course, here we have the label. Look, I love this label. Again, this is childhood memory. I got my copy here from Dave. Comes with the inner. And if I'm not totally mistaken, Selling England by the Pound has its 50th anniversary this year, right? Listen to this album yesterday and today, and I have to say, this is an amazing Genesis album. Amazing. I so like this album. In its time, I wasn't into Genesis. I have to admit that, but this was a beautiful, great listening. This, yeah, that might be, of course. You are at ground zero. Of course, yeah. But this is really a good copy, in my opinion. Plays without a scratch. And I think for a 50-year-old record, and it sounds amazing. Yeah, I think so. This is really one of the best. It's a Porky press. Thanks for the information, Liam. Yeah, fantastic. So happy to have this. And I can imagine that we will see this album in this year again, because, as I said, 50th anniversary this year. So they probably will do something, don't they? They should, at least, because this album and Lamp Lies Down the Broadway, those are really highlights when it comes to the Genesis. Yeah, Martin, this is an UK OG. Yeah. Okay, now you're talking Genesis, but somehow I think this is the first Genesis album I show on my channel. I'm pretty sure. Are there any Genesis box sets, remaster, reissues of Genesis? Help me out here. I don't think so. Yeah, this is a good question. Define properly. I listen to them. I listen to them carefully. And that's what I do. Of course, I don't go as often back to them as I should. But what is properly? 10 times, 8 times, 45 times. The only interesting this for selling would be, yeah, classic records did them, right? Yeah, they did some Genesis. You are right, Martin. Are you talking about the classic? Because I think I don't agree. Maybe you talk about the usual repressings. The West German DDM 80s pressing Genesis selling England by the pound was the gatefold sleeve. Okay. Totally agree, Manfred. Nursery Crime and Foxtrot. And I think Foxtrot, I have Foxtrot from classic records. Maybe I've shown this, so this is not the first time on my channel that we have a Genesis record. Trespass, yeah. So they have all been reissued. And are you happy with those reissues, Liam? Have you heard them? You probably have all the originals. So Martin doesn't seem to be happy with them. John Levison would buy the Selling England by the pound, and he just picked up a near mint lamp. Okay, cool. You are from Great Britain and you're talking about the first British pressing, John? So the rhinos weren't all that great, says AJ in Nashville. Okay. Okay. Genesis, all the first German pressing sounds great. Okay, so those might be also good alternatives and probably not as pricey as the British, right, Manfred? Maybe I will get also in German first pressing, and this would also make sometimes an interesting comparison, I think, because maybe there is no difference because they ship the metal parts back and forth. Ah, see what my German first print of lamp is highly regarded. Okay, interesting, cool. Yeah, let's go into the second original I have here. I have 3 for the evening. Unbelievable copy. Because there are some details that are, in my opinion, amazing. Again, a David Bowie, Elegant Sane. And here you see, I go into that in a second, with the inner sleeve, of course. The jacket is, look at this inner, it's like new. And so is the jacket, totally sharp corners, the spine. Beautiful, beautiful. The record plays unbelievable. The sound of it, I didn't compare it so far to the remaster, but I listened to it and the sound was fantastic. I had no idea. I only heard those remasters from the box sets before I got into those OGs. But in my personal opinion, the difference is huge. I've listened on Christmas. I listened to some of those OGs with my son, and we because I said, and now you see what I do with the videos. Now I put this on, and then I talk about the difference. I said, but Papa, this is a huge difference. He said, yeah, in my opinion, it is. And what he said was, the original sounds like work of a band, bespoke, handmade, bespoke in a way. And I totally agree. when you listen to those, there is a band, they play together, they like what they do, and it's an amazing atmosphere, which is a bit lost on the remaster. And what is really, really cool when it comes to this original is this. Because this fan club, official fan club inlay is only with the very, very, very first pressings. So, and my copy has it. And when it comes to the collectability, I think this is quite something. And you all know I'm very much into David Bowie. Love this album too, and here it is. Okay, let's go a bit into the comments. Okay. Yeah, Sasha, I think so. If you all again consider the age of this album, I need to go with, oh yeah, my New Year's. Better than stop smoking. I think this is a wiser decision. Why stop smoking when you can get into Bowie OGs? Yeah, it's all from our friend David. Those two are from our friend David. The next one I show you, where maybe YouTube will pull us down, is from a friend of us. We all know him. And yeah, the third one is again a highlight, because one of the greatest musicians of all time, and an amazing jacket. British first pressing, Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland, gatefold jacket. I put out the record. Give me a second, so that you can see it in all its beauty. Wait, is there? No, all good. So that's how it is. Here you have the, yeah. Sorry for the glare from the sleeve, but I want to keep them into the sleeves. I don't want to put them out, so that the record is safe. And this sounds, what they do with Hendrix guitar when it flies through the air. It's almost like you are in an IMAX cinema. It's a stunning record. It's a stunning record. Favorite Bowie album? Probably Heroes, due to my age and the time. Yeah, but again, back to the Hendrix, those original pressings. I think there are two variants. I here have the white, as you can see, the white lettered one. There is a blue lettered one, which is even more expensive. Maybe here is someone amongst us who can explain the difference between the white lettered one and the blue lettered one, if it's just cosmetic, or if there is a difference in the pressing. Yeah, totally. And I really hope that we someday will see this also as a new HQR. I don't know how the chances are, but this, of course, as a new HQR would also be amazing. What's the story behind those naked women? I think they didn't use that jacket in the USA, right? Probably not. Yeah, thank you. But that's it with the originals. What I now have prepared, because it was really fun and some of you really liked it, I have some more for later on. Now, if you like to, we discuss a little bit, but then later on, I will show more of those 21st century perspective aluminum covers and jackets. I have more, and I want to share those for those of you who wants to see them. Yeah. Yeah, of course it was. But I think Jimi Hendrix hated it. He didn't like it at all. Yeah. So nobody who knows something about the difference between them, I thought maybe someone is here. Nobody who knows about the difference of the blue lettered and the white lettered version. Both are counted as first pressings. And as I said, I've listened to it and it sounds, wow, really cool. Really, really cool. Okay. So any questions I have overlooked? Give me a second, please. Yeah, I agree, AJ. I don't think that America would have said yes to this jacket. Yeah, I will, Martin. Okay, so maybe just some highlights from this amazing series. And this is not only jacket-wise a highlight, it's also record-wise an absolute highlight. See that? Yeah, look at this. Also the record. Boy, I mean, probably a lot of you know Bernard Parmigiani. This is an amazing record. Quite expensive nowadays. This is one of the most expensive within this series. It's around 200 euros. But stunt me, correct me if I'm wrong. It's 200 euros for decades now, right? There hasn't been much uprise in the price over the last 10 years. Okay. So another beauty. Look at this. I mean, you have to consider there is a lot of handwork involved in doing those or this jackets. Another one. I have two more. Look at those. Totally dig them. Okay, and the last one. This is still open. I put it out. It's a bit. See. Here we go. Pierre-Henri. I wanted to share those once more because some of you really liked it. To the Henrix Manfred, Discogs tells the white one is a pre-release of the first pressing. Okay. Okay, interesting. We should stop talking about them, get them. Right, that's the perfect word. Gorgeous. Stunty, if you have time, maybe as you are the expert on when it comes to this series, come on, I put a link. If you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, share your knowledge when it comes to this series. If you want to, just put the link. If you want to join us, if not, no problem at all. To my knowledge, it is. I will look it up, but yeah. So, je ne parle français. Non. Un petit. Okay, so Let's see, maybe Stunty has to make his hair, but probably he's cooking right now and has no time. We will see. We will see. Yeah, so that's, in a way, that's it. This is, yeah, okay, come on, let's do this. I'm afraid the light is not that cool. Oh, look who is here.
There's the danger.
Yeah, okay,
Wait.
come on, let's do this. I'm afraid the light is not that cool. Oh, look who is. You are looking the stream right now. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
Okay, come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm afraid the light is not that cool. Oh, look who is. You are looking the stream right now. That's.
Voila, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. It's a porky press, Liam. You can't see that through the lens. Here it is, porky press. Yeah. Stunty.
Hello, Michael.
Come on, please say it in French.
Prospective du 21e siècle.
Right. Thank you. So you put me into this series when we have been in Den Bosch.
Yeah.
And you
It was not
probably
difficult, huh? It
No,
wasn't.
it was not difficult. It was not. Yeah, and it's an amazing series, and I think it's quite essential when it comes to musique concrète, very very early electronic, right?
Yeah. It is. I guess if you think about the Deutsche Grammophon early from like the early 60s, about avant-garde music, the Columbia in the US for Terry Riley, Morton Subotnick, and all that. There's a few other series, but that one obviously they went all in, like budget-wise, and almost foie gras and football. But yeah, so what's interesting is that again, musique concrète started out in the very late 40s in France as a club of collectors of sound. Thanks to the invention of the tape recorder, people started to go and record sound and gather as a club, as a society, and play these sounds to each other. And they started to formulate the idea of making music, narrative around it. They called it musique concrète, which they never very happy with, because basically what they wanted it to call it was the art of sounds. But the art of sounds is even more pompous, so that didn't work.
Yeah, but is it
Mm.
they called it or one person called it?
It's themselves. Like, let me show you if I have it available. Yeah. A very smart guy, Pierre Schaffer, who's not a musician originally, who's more a man of ID, conceptualized the whole thing with this: le solfège de l'objet sonore, the music writing of the sonic object. So this is a box set with 3 LPs of examples. Basically, he wrote the grammar of what sound, which family this sound is part of, like, and all sounds that are not coming.
Which year are we talking there with the Schäfer?
Oh, the late 40s. They started to do that in the late 40s. This was only released in the 60s, but the concept and so they created the little group of people who just liked the novelty of sound and recording sound. Some of them were musicians, some of them became musicians, and they gathered together under the name of the Groupe de Recherche Musicale, the Group of Musical Research, the GRM, which was integrated to the French National Archive, the Institut National de l'Audiovisuel, INA. So INA, GRM, basically the French National Archives hosted the GRM. They gave them access, their own studios. And originally it was Pierre Schaffer who was the director of that. The main musician was back then Pierre-Henri, who's very famous.
I always thought it was Alvin Lucier who started all of this, but then
No.
be wrong.
No, Alvin Lucier is much later. Alvin Lucier is in the late 70s, late 60s. Sorry, late 60s.
With the chair and the brain waves.
And so Pierre-Henri was a trained composer, but he fully went that way. So did François Bayle a little later. Bernard Parmigiani was a sound engineer for another composer who actually created the very first private electronic music studio in France, André Almuro. But he was a controversial guy. Apparently, there was some kind of like issues with him being into younger men. And so they hired Parmigiani, who became the main engineer in the early musique concrète.
Okay.
And then he became a musician in his own right. And by the 60s, François Bayle became the director of the GRM. And
but when it comes to the series, Dante, we have François Bayle and we have Pierre-Henri who started it, right?
No, exactly. So when François Bayle becomes the director of that, Pierre-Henri already has a contract with Philips, and they ask him and François Bayle to do a collection, and they go all out on the visual, of course. And so it's actually the creator of the music who were the curator of that series, like most labels are nowadays, like indie labels. Back then, that was quite something. The musicians taking control of the releases, and these records, they came out mostly in France, quite a lot in the Netherlands, a little bit in the UK, and a little bit in Japan, and then import.
Right?
But there were original pressings in these countries, and that was between 67 and 72. The bulk of the releases came out. There's a couple that came out later, because the series was never officially ended. But it's just that at one point, the GRM, with the support of the INA, they could release this themselves, as you saw with the Parmigiani we got you in Den Bosch, the green one, Dehors Dehors. But so this is other people, because the series only has composers who are either from the GRM or who were like in residence at the GRM.
Yeah, but we can be safe when we say those at the time are the core members of this kind of music.
Core members are Pierre-Henri, Parmigiani, and François Bayle.
Xenakis
was he had his own thing going on as well, but he was important. No, he was in Greece when the GRM started. He was in his own thing, mathematics and music. Ferrari,
yeah, but he has two releases on it.
Sure, but he's not from the first generation.
Yeah.
Like when these records started to come out, he had been there for the 60s. Everyone who was, even Stockhausen visited the GRM.
Yeah.
Luc Ferrari also was part of that, but was also part of his own thing, because he invented this thing called Hörspiel, which became his main thing. But like the record he did for the GRM and in that series, they are much more musique concrète. I see that.
What do you think, Stanley? If Stockhausen hasn't been connected to Deutsche Grammophon so heavily, he might also have been a part of the series, right?
I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he had a contract,
exactly.
But he was doing.
He couldn't.
The thing was that, like all this music, or most of it, is it's musique concrète. So it's the main instrument is the recorder and tape
and the room. And the room.
And amplification, speakers. While Stockhausen, Herbert Heimert, and all the guys from Köln, the main instrument is the sound wave generator, the oscillator. So it's basically two different technologies with philosophies that are quite, who both have a very similar end result, which is allowing the composer to escape the tonality, like the dodecaphonism, the 12-tone scale.
What's also so beautiful when it comes to the series nowadays, I think, if you are not so into it like you are, you know, probably every side step and part of this evolution. But for people who said, okay, I like it. I want to get into it. I think this series is an amazing opportunity because it's so compressed in a good way to get a very, very good overview.
I would say that since the mid 80s, like DJs, collectors,
yeah,
like heads, what we call people who aren't even that much into that music, they've been collecting these records because they are so fantastic as artifacts.
Yeah.
So Ruud van Leuven was asking if he should buy the Vision Cosmic for $10. I would say that from a collector's perspective, yes, absolutely, because these covers are fantastic and the music is interesting. That Vision Cosmic, for me, I don't have it because I think I'm not to that extent into that I want the whole series. I only want the ones that really go deep into what I think is essential in that. There are some in that series that I think are get them if you can find them cheap for the covers, but don't listen to them. Vision Cosmic for me is one of
still listen to them. Come on.
Yeah. No, but
I know what you mean. But I think the essential parts are the Parmigiani, Pierre-Henri, Xenakis.
For me, the essential would be the Parmigiani, the Bale, most of the Pierre-Henri, but not all the Pierre-Henri, the Ferrari, the Dubrovni from Romania, the Norwegian one.
Yeah, but the Norwegian one is hard.
The Japanese one, the box set compilation, and a few others.
Right, there is a compilation. That's true, but it's 300.
4 LP.
Yeah. You have it? I don't have it. Show it. Yeah. Oh, in a nice shape. Damn it.
Of course. Well, why? What do you expect? Also, one thing that
right. Martin has a question. Do you think these records influenced Robert Fripp's work?
These records specifically, I don't know, but he's been open that he Musique Concrète and these guys have influenced him heavily. I mean, he was very close to them in the sense that some of the guys from Gong did also go there to learn about these techniques. A lot of prog rock, space rock guys, ambient new age guys did actually during the 60s do some internship or stuff like that. One thing I have to show you, Michael, is because
Stanti, your copy gets a blessing from the highest possible authority.
Thank you, Dave. One record, I remember me telling you maybe don't go too fast, and you did anyways, because you wanted to get this from Pierre-Henri. Remember?
Yes.
You have this. But you don't have it as a box set.
You are such a pain sometimes.
I told you that, but the thing is that then I get this nice booklet.
I like booklets.
But you, I don't get the three or four individual silver jackets. I only get the ones for the box set. And this
so you
one,
need then you need both anyhow.
If you're a collector, yeah. If you're into the music, you can be both. Like you can be collector to various degrees, also.
Yeah, of course. What do you think about when it comes to Pierre-Henri? What do you think about the vinyl on demand releases? They did an amazing box set, right? About
I don't know the quality.
It's not so expensive.
No, I have all the originals in that one. I think maybe missing one. I don't have my Pierre-Henri collection is not complete. It's quite big, but there's a few I'm missing.
Is it very hard, or do you survive?
It depends. The ones. It's bugging me. The ones I don't have, it's bugging me. Like then hopefully Den Bosch will remedy to that. But yeah, I mean, these records were kind of legendary and mythical before eBay, before Discogs. So, and for those who remember, anything that was rare and unusual back then, you had the scalpers. Like these records were overpriced, or sometimes rightly priced, but never cheap, unless you got lucky, of course. But I mean, if you went to a shop or a dealer, these were like, yeah. But Pierre-Henri, there's about at least I would say 12 Pierre-Henri records that are must-have. He has 2 records that made him a crossover artist. The one with Spooky Tooth, which is nice, and the one with Maurice Béjart, the ballet one, with Symphonie pour le temps présent, which is basically, if anyone of here has seen the cartoon Futurama by the guy from Simpson. The intro of it with the pop song that is very clunky. This is Pierre-Henri. This is a total rip-off of Pierre-Henri Messe pour le temps présent.
I didn't know that. Okay, that was a brief and amazing introduction into the series, the idea behind the music. Maybe we go a bit deeper in it sometime. But for this evening, if there are not more questions.
Funnily, Michael, I must say, though, that the very first video we did together, the 4 Corner, I talked about these records a little bit. I showed some of them.
But that was the time when nobody listened. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much
for
your
now the time is very different because now you call me Mazzy, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm awake since 4 o'clock in the morning. Come on, cut me some slack here. Sorry for that, of course. Okay, thank you all very, very much. I now have to eat something, and we see us tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
The day after tomorrow. Bye.